Kindly say hello to the heart to everyone that has joined us. It's a pleasure to have you here, and hopefully we'll be able to do a lot in a brief moment, as I don't plan to take much of our time today. Yeah, so today we'll be talking about of course we always talk about important family issues. So today we'll be addressing the area of family bonding. Okay, so today we'll be talking about how to restore affection in the family and the healing power of showing up, the healing power of joining us in this live session, my wholesome family series. Welcome, Sammy. Kindly share your family and friends if you just joined us. This session will make it as brief as possible so we don't keep us for long. And yeah, if you have a question, pop it in the chat and be patient to answer it. Okay, so we are talking about how to restore affection and presence. Okay, the truth is that some of us, we are raised without intentional expression of affection. So our parents believed, yes, they love us, but if they show it too much, they will spoil us. And some people still have that mindset. If you make a child know that you love them so much, they will take it for granted. How many of us think that way? I can tell you that yes, it's real. It still happens. A lot of people think if a child knows that you're joining us, kindly subscribe and share to your loved ones. So, however, the truth remains that it becomes a trauma in the sense that we find it difficult to express our affection, our love, our feelings to our children. Even though we love, I don't think there's any parent that hates their child. Nothing like that. But because we were not shown love by full expression or verbal expression, we tend to use the same pattern, right? Some of us, we are in the same room with our children to be with them, but we don't know how to use that moment to connect, interact, engage, play with them, read with them, have serious discussions around life, around their choices, around their day, like the way you will vibe with your friends and colleagues. But these are the things that help build bond between us and our children and create that conducive environment to allow them full expression. If your child is more free to interact with outsiders than you, then you have work to do. It means they feel safer with people outside than they feel safer with you, and it shouldn't be. Your children should feel more comfortable with you, safer with you within the home front than they do outside. In that way, they will always come back when they make mistake because they know there's a space. The prodigal son knew there was hope of restoration. He understood that his father has space in his heart, he has committed such a crime and has asked the father to settle him. He's not interested again in whatever he has in his home. He should give him his portion. He just wants to go his way. He knew there was still hope for him at home than there was outside. So in everything we do, we should make the home front that space. That space. God can help you, Robert Man. So, support, kindly reach out to the email and then we'll get back to you. But just know there is hope for you. There is nothing too bad in anyone that God cannot restore. That is why he's God. He doesn't see as much. Our children can only come back to us when they feel that the home is heaven, a safer space, and a place for them to always return, no matter how far they've gone in life in making mistakes. And that should be the target of every home, creating a space where your children can gladly come back, knowing that no matter the depth of their mistake and error, that their parents still have arms open to embrace them and guide them back to the right path. All right? So affection cannot be removed from parenting. It heals what words cannot. Sometimes you don't even have the right word. All you need is a hug to a child, and that child feels better. Have your child cried and start asking you, hug me, mommy, hug me, daddy, hug me. They are just looking for comfort, something soothing. But unfortunately, some of us, in to convince this child that what they did is bad and you are really angry, you push them further away. All they just need is that hug to feel okay. Even though I've committed a mistake, I am still loved. We need to start separating what we feel from what we know we really want for our children. Why do I say that? We just finished our emotional intelligence challenge, and we try to separate our feeling from our action. I feel bad because a child have done something, right? But your action should not be ruled by your feeling. Your action should be what is in the best interest at this point for this child. What can help this child? So if setting up a structure or a plan or something that this child can learn from and become better is the best interest for her, rather than you expressing your anger and then throwing all your feelings on that child in the name of discipline, you realize that you have failed in meeting the final purpose and aim of that your expression. So you end up hurting a child, making that child feel bad, but you've not given this child a permanent solution to getting better and changing from what has gone wrong. So if we must raise children we can easily correct and influence, we must learn to express affection. Every child seeks for affection. And for them, affection is attention. So that's why sometimes you are in the same house with a child. And for you, you are there. That's why you didn't go to work, to be with them. Or you are busy on your laptop, you are busy on your phone, you are busy doing something, or you are even busy cooking. And this child just wants a moment. Mommy, mommy, and she's talking. You're not looking, even though you're listening. Yes, baby, I'm listening. Mom, look at me. What do you think a child is asking for? Attention. You are too busy for them at that point. And the truth is that sometimes it's frustrating. But we will fail in achieving the purpose of being present if we don't give them the full attention. Yes, that's why parenting is demanding. And that's why we've been caught into it. And that's why we have Familyness Academy to help us, to remind us, to reorient us, to teach us those things that we need to really prioritize in raising children who must grow up in a holistic way in our families, and to grow up to become holistic children who will not become a burden to the society, but a solution, an answer to their generation. But that will start from home, not in their schools, not in the church. The first church of your children is your home. Your first ministry is your home. So if you must impart your word, you must imparting it from your home. So for children, presence communicates what? The attention you give them, that moment of smiling at their jokes, even if it doesn't make meaning. Just sitting down to play with their toys, or just sitting down to gist with them what happened in school, or just calling them to know how their day went, if they are in school or they are no longer with you. To them is what? Just you. If you're in a relationship with a man or a woman and they don't call you, or they don't try to connect with you or interact with you, you will be asking yourself if this man or if this woman values me. That's the same thing with our children. They seek to know if we value them by the time we give to them, the attention we give to them. Okay? So if we want our children to really interpret or to see our presence as valuable, as worthy, we must make sure that that presence counts. So when we are with our children, what do? Some of us, we are in the same room, but we are not with them. All we want, okay, just to keep them safe. You are giving instruction. Don't climb. Don't do. Shut up. You are making noise. Sit down. Read your book. You are just giving instruction. You are there. But they are not seeing you as adding value or celebrating their presence. They feel you are just there to order them around. In fact, they will begin to see you as a burden rather than a joy to be with. And I don't think in our mind and our heart, that's what we want our children to see us as. We need to realize that the relationship with our children are limited. If they have 50 or 100 years to live, you only have the first 18 years to build a strong relationship before they leave your home as adults. Because after that, you no longer have that level of influence over them. But we don't know what we don't realize that the days are counting, the times are going until 18 years clock, and you wonder how did the years count and went by. You realize that the opportunities you had to build a stronger bond that will determine their relationship with you in the future, that you lost it. Thank you for everyone in this meeting. Kindly share to your loved ones. So when you hear parents at old age They will tell you some of them becomes lonely. Of course, your children will not feel that void, but there will be a kind of relationship you build with your children that at old age, they will find a way of connecting with you more consistently, or even having you closer, not just to use you as a nanny or babysitter, but because they understand the value of relationship that was built while growing up with you, and how it will benefit their children too, and how it will benefit them. And because they are missing you, let me use that word. Some of us, our children are not missing us. In fact, they want to escape from us. Don't build that type of relationship where your children will want to escape from you, from home. If you have heard me several, I will say some of us, our children can't wait to be 18 years to have their prison break, where they will just throw you by the side. I'm no longer under their captivity. So the question is, what does your child feel in your home? A slave, even though they are children? People who are under captivity, who cannot express themselves, who cannot be themselves? Can your child be themselves? When I mean build their real self and still feel comfortable at home? Did we say you should allow your children to be useless and indisciplined? No, but you can raise responsible children who can have full expression and be the same child even outside, because you have built a value over time within a bond, a connection, a relationship that those children understood. Not with your feeling and emotion all over the places. A little mistake, you are shouting. A little error, they expect what you will do, what you will say. They don't even. Have you seen a child who does something but cannot bring herself to explain to her parents? Because in her mind, even if I explain, it doesn't matter. They will still hit me. They will still punish me. So some of us have used punishment as the first point of action that our children are now always hiding from their mistake and from showing you who they really are. So they hide their errors. They show you that they are good children. But if you hear about them outside, you'll be amazed that these are your children. So the other day, I was going to pick up my daughter. I saw a young boy vaping, and he will hide on the road. And I told myself, for this child to be doing this on the road, is simply saying it is still not his. Like, he is still trying to get into that lifestyle of vaping as a child, right? And possibly the parents are not aware. If the parents are aware, you will see that confidence in doing that outside. But he knew that one or two people that knows him may see him and talk to the parents, if not the parents seeing him. What am I saying? A child who does things to hide is living a double life. So that child might be the good child at home and then the irresponsible child outside. And I'm sure no parents desire to raise such children. So in all your discipline and strictness, ask yourself, what is effective discipline? What is effective family relationship that will raise children who will be who they are anywhere they are found? We can tell our children we love them, but can they feel that love? Growing up, if you're in a relationship with someone who doesn't really love you but tells you I love you, we always say by their action, right? You will know them. Or rather, they will say action speaks louder than voice. So if you like, tell your children that I love you. If the way you react, relate to them, and or decisions or things you do around them does not directly express that love to them, you are not getting to their hearts. You are not building the kind of bond that will sustain a loving relationship that is healthy enough for you and your children. So children don't feel loved by your verbalization or by your just thinking about it. They feel loved by the time and attention you give to them, which tells them we are important to you. I see some of us, yes, we are under pressure. We are going to work. Every other thing that is happening does not matter. We are even pushing the children around. Do this. We are going late. And to them at that point, you are subjecting them under pressure for your work. What your brain will be telling them is that work is more important than you. Yeah, I know it's not easy, but these are the truths we must tell ourselves. Pressures of life will always be there. But the truth remains, if we must get it right, we must face the fact. We must face the fact. The way children feel or process affection or love, and they may not be the way we parents see it or get love. However, every individual have love language, right? So if I have a husband, yeah. I don't want to use, if I have a boss, I want this boss to see me as a good staff, isn't it? And this boss want me to be coming early to work, clean up the office, set up his schedule for the day, and get them ready, fix, call the necessary people, and put everything in place, only for him to be reminded by 10 o'clock you have a meeting, by 12 o'clock someone is coming, and that's what my boss expects, isn't it? And then me, I come, I do my own the way I want it differently. I come clean his body for him and all what not. The truth is that he may appreciate what I've done, but he will not process it as me being effective. Why? Because he now have to come and start making the call to schedule his meetings, which is giving him extra time, extra work, and something he knew I could have done, I'm supposed to have done. So if there's another staff member who does it for him, who do you think he would recommend for promotion when the opportunity comes? The person who does what he expects. So the same thing, our children have expectations the same way we have expectations. This is not a matter of entitlement. It's a matter of how they interpret our actions and our expression of love and attention. Okay? So, the Bible talked about Romans chapter 12 verse 15. We should rejoice with those who rejoice, and we should mourn with those who mourn. Literally, is saying approaching people according to their need. So, what does your child need? So, if your child needs attention and what you are doing is buying things for this child, that child will be happy you have bought gifts, but it will not take over the place of attention. It will not take over the place of, oh, I wish mommy would sit down and read for me. I wish daddy would check on me more. I wish daddy would sit down and ask me what has been going on with my academics. That's why we should be able to. I tell people, your children are not your friends, like, right? But you can use friendship as a tool. Let me not use the word weapon. A tool to assessing what is inaccessible around your children. You can use friendship as a tool to penetrate their hearts, to access information on a normal day they will not release. But when you become friend, when you use that tool of friendship to create an atmosphere of liberty and that freedom and comfort, they are able to reach out to you, to gist and tell you things even around about their friends that they will normally not tell you. So it's using it as a tool. You still have your boundary set up, disciplinary structure. Everyone knows no matter what, this is the standard, is not broken. But you have built a bond in such a way that their heart is connected. I see parents tear the heart of their children in bid to raise responsible children. But at the end of the day, you break your child's heart and they still not turn out responsible. But we can build a bond that our children will feel so connected to us. And it's easier to raise responsible and disciplined children when they understand it's coming from the angle of love and not anger and aggression. So, we need to get to our children in the language they understand. Some children, once you hug them and tell them I love you, they are open to what you want them to do. Rather than shouting and preaching and nagging and complaining. And most of them, once you start shouting, you've done, and I've told you severally, they shut down. And some of them, it gets to their 18, especially girls. So you see some of them, once you start, they will bend over. They began to internalize what you are doing and what you are saying. They've started interpreting it, personalizing it. And we don't want to get there, where they will start seeing our correction as an attack to their worth and to their person. That's not the aim. The aim is to get them do the right thing, isn't it? But the higher aim is to get them to even do it without us prompting. But it takes a skill, structure, routine that they get used to over time, not overnight. Some of us, we want it fast. Like fast food. But raising responsible children is not like a fast food. It's not. And we require our patience, because if you want it to be fast, you realize you will be under pressure, and that pressure will escalate to your children and will strain your family relationship. And nobody wants to be in that spot. I've seen families grow apart instead of growing together. And these are the reasons. As younger family, they are happy, they are everywhere together, they connect, they bond. As life challenges come upon them, you see them begin to separate, tear themselves apart. You even see children splitted between couples. And what is that? Some children will support mother, some will support daddy, and then we have issue of even siblings rivalry, where siblings are fighting and parents are siding one or the other. Then you have where parents appreciate or throw accolades to the one who goes out to bring money for them without even knowing what the other ones are going through, their emotional need and challenges, their struggles, or what the other one is even doing to get the money. Our families become transactional. Not how God have created families to be. Our families should not be transactional. We should not raise children who have to do things because they have something to gain in return. Let's not digress from the real thing today. So, why does affection matter? I'm going to be more quick now. The truth, like I said, affection is not optional. It's essential. I know some of us grew up without seeing our parents express it. Even though they had that intention, they had it in their mind. They never hated us. They loved us. But they didn't grow up being pampered or showed or expression of affection thrown all over them. Pecking, kissing, hugging, saying I love you every day and all that. Some of us never grew up, and even today it is being difficult showing that expression to our children. However, research in child development have shown that consistently showing healthy affection reduces anxiety and emotional withdrawal. When a child consistently hears I love you, is hugged, is embraced, even when this child makes mistake, you hug this child and still correct and still discipline with love rather with anger and aggression, you have the tendency of reducing anxiety. But when we shout, we carry our anger on children, we make them shiver and anxious and withdraw. They tend to resist us. They tend to withdraw from us because they begin to see us as, let me use the word, the brain. So it won't be like it's our children. The brain begin to interpret us as a threat, and we activate the flight and fight mode. And when we express affection to our children, this same research says that it strengthens attachment and trust. Many of us, we want our children, thank you Sam, transferred aggression. Yeah, some of us, it's a norm in the home. We carry anger that we have buried from wherever, then we pour it on our children. We hold our children responsible for making us angry. Why that anger was carried over. We accuse them. Sometimes they even feel like, everything, I'm not the cause. Sometimes you hear children, they say, my mommy will say, I'm not the cause of her problem. I'm the cause of her anger. So, children thrive when they build healthy attachments around us. When they trust us, it's easier to follow instructions. As their brain is able to interpret that instruction, it's easier for them to follow when they feel loved, cared for, attached, and they can trust us. Do you know sometimes we give bogus instructions and we expect these children to interpret it? At that time, their logical sense is still growing. So our expectation is too high on these children. And if it's an adult child or a child who have grown up, maybe a teenager, that keep resisting your instruction, is because you have not built a trusting relationship with them. You have not built an attachment with this child. You need to start creating a bonding connection with this child. That is where to begin. You don't begin by threatening, shouting, hitting, raising hand and all that. No. If you must restore the relationship between you and your teenager or young adult, you need to come back to the table and start from the beginning to build a bond, connect with your child. When they begin to feel attached, connected, and trust, they won't want to hurt you. It will be easier for them to follow through instructions and learning the things you want them to learn. That when you're coming from the vibe of the boss, aggression, they must do it because you are their parents. And I will remind us that this generation is not the same as our generation. They have a lot of alternatives. They have a lot of deceptive options that we don't want them to even consider. But if they feel detached from us, they will definitely stay away from us and embrace those deceptive options. And we pray that doesn't happen. But we must do it with wisdom, intentionality, and knowledge, which is what we teach here. Okay? So, healthy affection improves emotional regulation. Even as a couple, when you are really connected with your husband or with your wife, it's easier to manage your feelings when you're angry. If you've been building a connected relationship, you are not everywhere, allowing stress to carry you all over, it's easier to talk about issues and sort out differences. It's easier to reconcile when something goes wrong than when you people have been tearing, maybe you've been apart for a very long time, doing your own thing, not intentionally connecting to one another. Any little thing we just pick a major thing. Built up anger. The same thing happens between us and our children. We must harness the relationship between us and our children intentionally. If we must raise children who will grow up to connect to us, to understand that everything we are teaching and directing and doing with them is from the angle of love. Trust must be established. So this same research on healthy affection says that such children build resilience in stressful relationship. So when the brain is stressed, but is surrounded by people who understands and shows affection, it's easier for the brain to feel, okay, there is a safe option for me. So when children are supported through stressful situations by the people who are family, and who are they? The parents. It's easier for them to build resilience, to go through the process of challenges because there is a support system around them. Unlike when they feel alone, and anxiety escalate the whole situation. Oh, mommy and daddy will not support. They won't even want to hear this. I need to look for a solution. I need to find out what to do. Every child in that state drastic decisions that will lead them farther away from the mistake they've already committed. And they will always go for available option. Often no or less than what they already know. But when they feel safe with adult parents, they're able to calmly relate to you, knowing that there is a support. Thank you very much. So, but affection, it is not just the hug and the kisses, right? Some of us can do that even when we are not feeling it. But children knows when we are really feeling it. Because sometimes, you are saying I love you and you are frowning your face. That child knows anger is still built up in you. Even though you are telling them I love you, they know it's not coming from within you. Affection looks like eye contact. That is not rush. Have enough time to look at them and say, I love you. You are the best. You are precious. You are special. Those things are building bonds. They are helping our children feel belonged, feel worthy, feel accepted for who they are. Not just when they do what is good. Make it a lifestyle. How can one manage and control anger and emotions? That's a topic of another day, sir. And we just did our emotional challenge just last week. Check our videos. You will see we addressed how to manage your emotion, how to separate your emotion, which emotions is in our video, so that we don't drag time today. So your tone should be gentle, even in correction. You see, we've built a system because that's how we grew up, where we think raising our voice is the only way to show we are angry or we are not happy about something. But do you know you can still be calm? That's where we are talking about emotional intelligence. You can still be calm even if you are not happy with something, and your child will still understand, this is not acceptable. Mommy doesn't appreciate it, but you still have to be calm about it, and you still have to face the consequence. You mustn't shout. You mustn't be able for someone to know you're angry. The same way we are able to manage ourselves in the office. You know you are angry, and you can tell your colleague, I'm not happy about what you just did. It's not acceptable. Please don't do it next time. Why don't we use that same tone to talk to your child? Oh God, I don't want to move away from here, because it's also showing you being able to control what you feel. It's also showing your children you respect them. Your children also deserve respect, because you were able to approach your colleague that way, knowing that shouting at your colleague may escalate situations. You may be reported, and it will become an offense. I'm sure no office accepts being aggression or fighting. And when you raise your voice, you know your colleague may be triggered to raise their voice, and it will become a fight. But because you think your children cannot raise their voice too, you can shout at them anyhow? No. You are also teaching them how to be able to control their tone when they are not happy about a thing. That's also affection. That's affection, saying, I love you, I respect you, but this thing you have done is wrong, without having to shout. So you can correct your children with soft tone. That's not soft parenting. What we call soft or gentle parenting is not irresponsible parenting. You can be gentle. Gentility, we said, is the fruit of the Holy Spirit, isn't it? It's also an emotional intelligence virtue. But you can still raise children who are responsible. But in our mind, because that's how we were raised, everybody have to express that they are angry, they have to shout for you to know, they have to raise their voice to get your attention. We are still using, we are using it on our children, and we think that's how to raise responsible children. You'll be shocked that that was not what made you who you are. Those things they shouted upon you, when they were not there to shout on you, you were doing your own thing. You see those ones they have to beat you, they didn't change you. It was the value that was repeated over time with daily teaching and activities and interactions that built a system in you that says, okay, to be responsible, this is what is expected, this is what is not expected. But you see those ones, they beat you, they shout at you, you know they didn't get rooted immediately. You were still hiding to do them. Let's tell ourselves the truth. So, our body language is also important. It helps to show or express to our children if we really love them. The way we touch, the way we reassure them. Some of us, the way we drag our children because we are angry. And I'm sure we still have to work on ourselves to be able to reprogram our mind. So, what is the cost of being absent? And remember, I was saying being absent does not mean not being there. Because some of us, we can be present, but we are absent. So when presence is missing in children, they internalize it as rejection, as not worthy of our time or presence, as we having more important things than them. And if you're a husband or a wife, and your partner is not always available, how do you feel? Our children crave for our presence. They crave for our availability more than they can tell us. The same way your partner crave for your presence. So, if you are not there, they see it as rejection. They see it as not important, as not significant. And they will want to seek for it elsewhere. Every one of us wants to be valued. And human nature will naturally want to seek to be where we are accepted. How many of us knows the saying that don't be where you are tolerated, be where you are celebrated? The same thing with our children. And that's why some of them wish rather to be with their friend out than to be at home. So our absence is also, you see children beginning to form habits and behaviors or being resistant, and we call it stubbornness. Those behavior is their own language of unmet connection. And I've told us that children will always seek for attention. It does not matter how they get it. They just want to be seen. They want to know that they are seen as part of what is happening around. They crave for attention, even if it means negative attention. Another thing our absence does is that it builds emotional wall slowly. So you realize our children stop trying to share or say things to us that is happening with them because they don't feel we are available. I've met a child that will tell me she's trying to get a friend, even connecting to AI relationship. So I was asking her, what is it in AI relationship? You don't this person, you don't even see this. Say, because that's how I'm able to just talk to someone, knowing that someone is on the other side talking to me. I said, but you can do that with your mommy, you can do that with my dad. He's saying, no, they are busy and I don't want to be extra burden to them. And that's how our children feel. They build a wall emotional war. They try to not be needy or to be seen as a burden to us. And sometimes we feel they are hiding things. Yes, because we have not created a platform for them to connect and express themselves. And that's where you see emotional wounds that are not even caused by harshness, but by inconsistency, lack of presence, distraction. That when we are there, we're on our phone, playing, watching, scrolling through the reels, what is happening latest, and our children are there doing their own thing. And we are disconnecting. And before you know it, they are 18 years, they are gone, and you are now left with you and your phone. This is just for us to be aware of the moments that matter when we are with our children on a daily basis. So, I want us to reflect before we close. In our day-to-day engagement with our children, where do we need to show up intentionally? I'm not even talking about the one that when they have activities in school, we are not there. I think in one of my live sessions, I shared how when I went for my daughter's Christmas presentation, how all the children were coming up to the podium and they were just looking. Everybody was staring to find their own parents until they got to the podium, and there was this child that didn't see his parents, and he started crying until his mom raised her head. And you see the kind of smile that appeared in this. It was just heavenly. That's to tell us how much our presence matters to them. Okay? So what areas can we show up intentionally every day? Is it after school conversation? What happened in school today? Even if you are too busy, create 5 minutes to hear from them. Let them see you are interested in what is happening with them and around them. Do you want to do bedtime routine? 5 minutes of reading with them or having them read to you. Emotional check-in. What's happened today that you felt happy about? What happened today that was challenging? What happened today that you think you would have done better, or you think you really did well? You are just showing interest, and they are picking that what they think and what they feel matters to us. We may think these things that does not matter. If you are consistent, you are building a bond that your children will grow up building a family relationship and bond that when you don't do it, they will know something is missing. It can even be just sitting and maybe there are two of them gisting and you are just there. Oh, okay. You are not advising, you are not correcting. Oh, really? So that happened today. Wow. Okay. What do you think? Not being the militant or the military officer, just listening. But let them feel that you are paying attention to them. It matters to them. So let's intentionally do that. So this week, usually we will do a family week challenge. And this week, our simple challenge is just schedule uninterrupted family time. Maybe 10 minutes within the week. 15 minutes. I know some of us run a busy schedule. As you are going, your husband is going, your wife is coming, and you are doing school runs. As you are returning, dropping the children, you are going back to work. But do you know that these children really miss us? Can you create few minutes of family bond, family time, leave phone, laptop, everything, just connect with them, chat with your children. Let them, like something you have not done in a while, let them begin to feel there's this intentionality around connecting and bonding with them. And if you have not done gift sharing this love period, you can even just buy token, gift, wrap it, something they will appreciate, and give to everyone. Just be intentional about doing creative things with them that they feel, oh, they are seen, they are appreciated, they are wanted, they are needed in the home. Let's remove that sense of them feeling like they are a burden or they are not being good enough, or complaining or picking things that we are not done. If we must raise a family that will grow in love, connected, and easily able to influence, to be responsible, we must be more intentional about our heart-to-heart connection as family members than the activities that need to be carried out in the home. Because the truth, sometimes you are exhausted. Out of exhaustion, you are angry, you are expressing your frustration, and you are tearing your home. You are breaking your home. You are destroying your home. It's not even worth it. Something that can wait, that can be handled when you are calmer, when you've had a cool shower and rested your head. You could find a better approach. Okay? So in this season, let's lead with affection. Connect before you instruct. Bond. Connect with the heart before addressing the behavior. Let's reduce the rush we rush our children in the morning. You have to do this. Hey, we are late. Let's reduce the rush, because you are building them under anxiety and tension. So we can reduce the rush around our children and make our home a calmer environment, a more suitable environment to thrive. Be emotionally available and not just physically present. Don't just be there. They are not interested in you being there, but you are not there. Be there. Be emotionally present. Ask how they feel before you start asking what they have done, what did they do, how they did not do this. It's easier for children to comply to instructions when they feel connected. So, that's this in summary. This week is just straightforward. Build a better bond with your children. Connect more. Reduce your multitasking and your phone use. Connect before you correct. Increase your expression of affection. Try to understand how your children interpret affection and what works for each of them. And like I said, some of them may be just a hug or saying I love you. Some of them will carry me. Some of them, they just want you to call on phone to check on them. So maybe they need you to visit them. Depending on the age of your child, what does this child interpret as a connection, as love, as a bond? Because when a child feels safe, their heart opens up. And that's what we want to build. A home that feels safe for our children to thrive. A home that feels safe for everyone to blossom. A holistic home that everyone will flourish. So as we come to the close this evening, I want to ask you, has your home been committed to God? I keep telling people, we teach you structure. We also teach you trusting God to perfect it. Because you can build a structure that can crash in a day. But God has the power to hold what you have built by structure. And He has the power to give you the wisdom an inspiration to raise those children to become whom they have been created to be in destiny. So I want to ask you again, is your home committed to God? Is your family devoted to God? Have you as an individual given your life to Christ? Have you ushered your children and husband and wife into the presence of God? Have you subjected them to the authority of Jesus? And I pray for you and your family that you will embrace God. You will embrace Jesus. You will submit your family to the Lord. And you will see his light shine upon your children, upon you, upon your home. And you will have rest. And your children will grow to fulfill their destiny. And you will live with joy, seeing the outcome and the result of your labor in Jesus' name. Thank you for joining me again today. And this is the end of today's session. Do have a lovely day. Remember to share this to your loved ones. Let them also learn. Let them grow. Let them build a better home, a better family. It's also for your good. When the people around you knows what you know, it's better that it will be an advantage to you and your children and not a disadvantage. So anyone connected to you should listen to this teaching. So as you are growing, as you are knowing better, you are also growing and knowing better. Do have a lovely day, and remember you can catch a replay if you are just joining, or yes, subscribe so you will receive our notification any day we go live. Do have a lovely day, everyone, and thank you for joining us today again. See you next time. Bye.